The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stretched like an impossible cathedral of light and crystalline architecture. Suspended high above the central platform, holographic displays shimmered with the collective data of thousands of civilizations. Each projection represented years of diplomatic and scientific observation, carefully curated by the Council's most elite researchers. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood alone at the center of this magnificent space, her dark blue diplomatic uniform a stark contrast to the ethereal environment. She carried with her a lifetime of preparation, generations of human hope compressed into a single moment of potential transformation. Behind her, a small delegation of human representatives watched with a mixture of anticipation and quiet resolve. Ambassador Zornak of the Luminarian Confederation observed her with barely concealed amusement. His species were beings of pure energy, capable of shifting between solid and luminescent states at will. Translucent tendrils of light danced around his form, creating intricate patterns that reflected his emotional state. In this moment, pure condescension. "The human representative wishes to address the council," announced the ceremonial herald, a robotic construct designed to maintain absolute neutrality. Its voice echoed through the chamber, a perfect blend of frequencies that could be understood by every species present. Elena took a measured step forward. She knew the stakes were impossibly high. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, studying every scrap of intercepted galactic communication, reverse engineering fragments of alien technology, and building a comprehensive understanding of interstellar politics. The council members represented species that had existed for millennia. The Krelnaks with their crystalline exoskeletons, the gaseous Aryans who communicated through complex electromagnetic pulses, the silicon-based Lithosians whose computational abilities made human technology seem like primitive toys. Distinguished members of the Galactic Council, Elena began, her voice steady and clear. Humanity requests full membership in the interstellar community. We come not as conquerors, but as explorers and potential partners. A ripple of soft chittering sounds spread through the chamber, a mixture of laughter and dismissal that transcended individual species' communication methods. Ambassador Zornak leaned forward, his luminescent form pulsing with barely contained humor. "Your species has barely managed to establish 3 colonies beyond your home system," he said, his voice a melodic series of harmonic tones. "Your fastest ships would take decades to cross what we traverse in weeks. Your communication technologies are rudimentary at best. What possible contribution could humanity make to the Galactic Council?" Elena had anticipated this response. She activated a holographic display that began showing a series of technological innovations. Compact fusion reactors developed from modified alien energy collector designs. Adaptive communication systems that could rapidly decode and learn from multiple linguistic matrices. Quantum computing algorithms that demonstrated an unprecedented ability to solve complex interdimensional problems. The chamber fell silent. Each holographic projection represented not just technological achievement, but a fundamental different approach to problem solving. Where other species saw established systems, humans saw opportunities for radical reimagination. "We do not claim superiority," Elena continued. "We offer perspective. Humanity's greatest strength is our ability to adapt, to learn, to transform challenges into opportunities." The Lithosian representative, a massive crystalline entity that resembled a living geometric puzzle, flickered with what might have been curiosity. Its computational analysis was running multiple scenarios, trying to categorize the human approach. Ambassador Zornak's amusement began to fade, replaced by a subtle hint of uncertainty. The herald's neutral voice broke the tension. "The Council will deliberate on the human application for membership." Elena knew this was far from a victory, but it was a beginning. Every great journey started with a single step, and humanity had just taken its first stride onto the galactic stage. As she stepped back from the central platform, she caught the eye of her lead scientific advisor. A subtle nod passed between them, a shared understanding that this was merely the first move in a much larger game. The Galactic Council might dismiss humanity today, but they would remember this moment in the years to come. Deep beneath the Martian surface, our research facility hummed with an energy that defied conventional understanding. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's most ambitious project remained carefully hidden from both the Galactic Council and most of humanity itself. Quantum decryption chambers lined stark white corridors, each room a testament to human ingenuity and relentless curiosity. Dr. Marcus Chen, the lead xenotechnology specialist, carefully manipulated a fragment of alien communication technology recovered from a derelict spacecraft discovered in the Kuiper Belt. His fingers moved with a surgeon's precision, holographic displays dancing around him like ethereal assistants. Each movement revealed layers of complexity that would have overwhelmed scientists from any other species. "We're not just studying their technology," Marcus muttered to himself. "We're learning to speak their language of innovation." The fragment in question was no larger than a human palm, yet it contained computational complexity that would have taken most civilizations decades to begin understanding. Recovered during a classified deep space mission, the artifact represented years of careful research, reverse engineering, and breakthrough thinking. Nearby, Dr. Aisha Nomani worked on adaptive quantum computing systems that could process information at speeds previously thought impossible. Her team had developed algorithms that could learn and transform faster than any known artificial intelligence in the known galaxy. Where other species saw technological barriers, humans saw puzzles waiting to be solved. The facility itself was a marvel of human engineering. Powered by experimental fusion reactors that drew inspiration from captured alien energy collector designs, it existed in a state of perpetual innovation. Layers of protection, physical, digital, and quantum, ensured that no external entity could detect the true extent of human technological development. A massive holographic display dominated the central research chamber. It showed a complex web of technological innovations, each connection representing a breakthrough that challenged existing understanding of physics, communication, and computational theory. Red lines connected different research streams, showing how seemingly unrelated discoveries could be woven into a comprehensive technological tapestry. Dr. Rodriguez's vision went far beyond simple technological advancement. She understood that humanity's greatest strength lay in its ability to adapt, to reimagine, to see potential where others saw limitations. The Galactic Council believes we're primitive, she had told her team during their last briefing. They see our few colonies and limited interstellar travel as a sign of weakness. What they fail to understand is that we're not trying to copy their technologies. We're creating something entirely new. Marcus looked up from his workstation, a breakthrough forming in his mind. The alien communication fragment was more than just a piece of technology. It was a key to understanding fundamental principles of interstellar communication that no other species had yet conceived. The quantum entanglement matrix, he called out to Aisha, it's not just a communication method. It's a complete information transfer system that adapts in real time. Aisha moved quickly, her own holographic displays spinning around her. Quantum algorithms danced across the screens, revealing layers of complexity that seemed to breathe with an almost living intelligence. The research facility was more than a scientific outpost. It was humanity's silent response to the Galactic Council's dismissal. Each breakthrough was a calculated move in a much larger game of technological and diplomatic chess. Outside the facility, Mars itself seemed to pulse with potential. The red planet had transformed from a distant, inhospitable world to a hub of human innovation. Terraforming projects worked in parallel with advanced research, showing the same adaptive approach that defined human technological development. Dr. Rodriguez watched the team work, a subtle smile playing across her lips. The Galactic Council had no idea what was coming. Humanity was not just preparing to join the interstellar community, they were preparing to redefine it. As the day drew to a close, the research facility continued its silent work. Quantum computers processed impossible amounts of data. Alien technology fragments revealed their secrets, and humanity continued its relentless pursuit of knowledge, one breakthrough at a time. The galaxy had underestimated them, but not for much longer. The Epsilon Eridani colony glimmered like a jewel against the vast darkness of space. Nestled on a terraformed moon, New Providence represented humanity's most advanced settlement beyond the solar system. From a distance, it appeared serene, a testament to human engineering and adaptability. Commander Sarah Reyes stood on the colony's primary defense platform, her eyes scanning the holographic displays that wrapped around the command center. Something felt different today. A subtle tension vibrated through the station's systems, an almost imperceptible warning that set her veteran instincts on high alert. "Incoming energy signature," announced Lieutenant David Kumar, his fingers dancing across multiple holographic interfaces. "It doesn't match any known human or allied communication protocols." The Krellnax battle fleet emerged from subspace with a suddenness that would have overwhelmed any other civilization. Massive crystalline ships formed a perfect geometric attack formation, their weapons charging with an intensity that suggested absolute confidence in total victory. Commander Reyes had anticipated this moment. The human colonies were more than just settlements. They were carefully designed fortresses that challenged every conventional understanding of defensive technology. "Activate adaptive defense matrix," she commanded, her voice calm and precise. The colony's defense systems came alive in a way that would shock any external observer. Where traditional military installations relied on fixed defensive protocols, New Providence's systems were living, breathing networks of computational intelligence. Each incoming weapon signature was immediately analyzed, categorized, and countered. Shield frequencies shifted in microseconds, creating interference patterns that rendered the Krellnax weapons nearly useless. Defensive platforms moved with an almost organic fluidity, predicting and neutralizing threats before they could fully materialize. Lieutenant Kumar watched in awe as the colony's systems transformed. "They're not just blocking attacks," he muttered. "We're learning from them in real time." The Krellnax fleet found itself in an impossible situation. Their most advanced weapon systems were being systematically dismantled by a defensive network that seemed to think and adapt faster than their own computational matrices could process. Energy weapons that should have vaporized entire sections of the colony instead dissipated harmlessly. Precision strike formations collapsed as their tactical algorithms were instantaneously decoded and neutralized. Dr. Elena Rodriguez had designed this system personally. It was more than a defensive network. It was a living proof of concept. Humanity's true strength lay not in brute force, but in the ability to understand, adapt, and transform challenges into opportunities. "They expected a simple conquest," Commander Reyes said quietly. "Instead, they've walked into a technological demonstration." The battle lasted less than 17 minutes. When it concluded, not a single human life had been lost. The Krellnax fleet, once considered the most formidable military force in the known galaxy, retreated in complete disarray. More impressive than the victory was how the colony had processed the attack. Every weapon signature, every tactical approach was carefully recorded, analyzed, and integrated into the defensive matrix. The next attack would be even easier to neutralize. Orbital sensors captured the retreating Krellnax ships. Their once perfect geometric formations had dissolved into a chaotic retreat. Communication channels between their ships became sporadic, revealing a level of confusion that bordered on panic. "Message incoming from Earth Central," announced the communication officer. "They want a full report on the encounter." Commander Reyes allowed herself a small smile. This was more than a defensive victory. It was a clear message to the Galactic Council. Humanity was not to be underestimated. In the research facilities beneath the colony's surface, scientists were already analyzing the captured data. Each fragment of Krellnax technology would be studied, understood, and potentially integrated into future defensive and offensive systems. The Epsilon Eridani colony stood as it had before the attack, serene, seemingly vulnerable. But now it carried a new reputation, a warning to any civilization that might consider humanity an easy target. The galaxy had just received its first true lesson about human potential. As night fell on New Providence, the colony's systems continued to process, learn, and prepare. The adaptations from today's battle were already being distributed to other human settlements. Each colony was a node in a larger, more intelligent network. The Krellnaks had come looking for a quick victory. Instead, they had provided humanity with its most valuable resource. The research facility underneath the Martian surface had transformed into something beyond a typical scientific laboratory. Dr. Marcus Chen stood at the center of a massive circular chamber, surrounded by holographic projections of the captured Krellnak ships. Each fragment of alien technology told a story, a complex narrative of engineering that humans were rapidly learning to understand and reimagine. This is not just reverse engineering, Marcus explained to his team of brilliant researchers. We're creating a new language of technological innovation. Surrounding him, quantum computing systems processed alien technological data at speeds that would have been impossible just months earlier. The captured Krellnak ships were more than trophies. They were keys to understanding fundamental weaknesses in galactic military technology. Dr. Aisha Nomani worked on a separate section of the facility, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with living intelligence. She had discovered something extraordinary in the weapon systems of the captured ships, a fundamental flaw in their energy transfer mechanisms that no other species had noticed. "Look at this," she called out, bringing up a complex holographic model. "Their shield frequency modulation has a predictable harmonic pattern. It's like they've been using the same technological sheet music for centuries, never considering that the composition could change." The facility buzzed with an energy of pure potential. Where other civilizations saw established technologies, the human team saw an opportunity for radical reimagination. Each alien system was a puzzle waiting to be solved, each technological fragment a potential breakthrough. Dr. Elena Rodriguez walked through the facility, observing the work with a critical eye. She understood that this was more than a scientific endeavor. It was a strategic response to the Galactic Council's dismissal. Humanity was not just studying alien technology. They were preparing to redefine the very concept of technological advancement. A massive holographic display in the center of the chamber showed the interconnected nature of their research. Red lines connected different technological discoveries, revealing how seemingly unrelated breakthroughs could be woven into a comprehensive technological tapestry. The Krellnaks believed their technological superiority was absolute, Marcus explained to a group of junior researchers. But technology is not about having the most advanced system. It's about the ability to adapt, to reimagine, to see potential where others see limitations. The captured ships underwent a continuous process of deconstruction and analysis. Quantum scanners penetrated materials at an atomic level, revealing layers of complexity that would have taken other civilizations decades to begin understanding. Aisha's team had developed adaptive computing systems that could learn from each technological fragment. Where traditional research might take years to understand a single alien system, these new quantum algorithms could process and integrate complex technological information in hours. We're not just copying their technology, Dr. Rodriguez emphasized during a briefing. We're creating something entirely new. Our strength has always been our ability to see connections that others miss. The facility had become a living organism of innovation. Experimental fusion reactors, inspired by alien energy collection technologies, powered systems that pushed the boundaries of known physics. Communication networks developed adaptive algorithms that could decode and learn from multiple linguistic and technological matrices. Outside the facility, Mars itself seemed to pulse with potential. The red planet had transformed from a distant, inhospitable world to a hub of human technological development. Terraforming projects worked in parallel with advanced research, demonstrating the same adaptive approach that defined human innovation. As the day progressed, breakthrough after breakthrough emerged from the research teams. A new method of energy transfer that could revolutionize interstellar travel. An adaptive communication system that could decode and learn from multiple technological languages. Quantum computing algorithms that solved complex interdimensional problems with an ease that would have been unimaginable months earlier. Dr. Rodriguez watched her team work, a subtle smile playing across her lips. The Galactic Council had no idea what was coming. Humanity was not just preparing to join the interstellar community, they were preparing to redefine it. The technological symphony continued, each discovery a note in a complex composition of human potential. The captured Krellnax ships sat at the center of the chamber, no longer symbols of alien superiority, but tools of human innovation. The galaxy had underestimated them, but not for much longer. The Galactic Council chamber transformed into a war room of tension and desperation. Holographic displays flickered with tactical information, showing the catastrophic failure of their combined fleet against human defenses. Ambassador Zornak of the Luminarian Confederation stood at the center, his luminescent form pulsing with a mixture of anger and disbelief. "Humanity cannot be allowed to continue," declared the Krellnax military strategist, his crystalline form casting fractured light across the chamber. Their technological adaptation represents an existential threat to every established civilization in the galaxy. The Council's response was swift and predictable. Sanctions were imposed. Communication channels were restricted. Every known human colony was to be isolated, cut off from interstellar trade and diplomatic channels. What the Council members did not realize was that isolation would only accelerate human innovation. Dr. Elena Rodriguez received the news with a calm that surprised her closest advisors. While other leaders might have seen this as a devastating blow, she saw an opportunity. "They'd just given us exactly what we needed," she told her team during an emergency meeting. The research facilities beneath Mars hummed with increased activity. Every restriction became a new challenge to overcome, every barrier a puzzle to be solved. Quantum communication networks began to take shape. Where traditional interstellar communication relied on established relay systems, human researchers developed adaptive networks that could bypass conventional communication restrictions. Signals bounced through quantum entanglement, creating communication pathways that defied traditional understanding. Dr. Marcus Chen led a team that was developing something extraordinary. Their new communication system could not just transmit information, it could learn, adapt, and evolve with each transmission. Traditional communication networks became obsolete compared to this living, thinking system. Research stations transformed into fortresses of creativity. Experimental fusion reactors developed more efficient energy collection methods. Adaptive computing systems solved complex problems that had stumped galactic researchers for centuries. Every resource was optimized, every technology pushed beyond its supposed limits. The human colonies, once seen as scattered and vulnerable, began to demonstrate a level of interconnectedness that shocked external observers. Each settlement was not just a separate entity, but a node in a larger, more intelligent network. Information, resources, and technological innovations flowed between them with a speed and efficiency that defied conventional understanding. Dr. Aisha Nomani's team made a breakthrough that would change everything. They developed a method of technological integration that allowed human systems to learn from each other in real time. A breakthrough in one research station could be immediately understood and adapted by facilities thousands of light years away. "We're not just sharing information," Aisha explained during a classified briefing. "We're creating a living, breathing technological ecosystem that can adapt faster than any traditional civilization could comprehend." The Galactic Council's isolation strategy backfired spectacularly. Instead of weakening humanity, they had provided the perfect conditions for accelerated innovation. Research that might have taken decades was now happening in months. Technological barriers were not obstacles, they were opportunities. Orbital research stations became hubs of unprecedented creativity. Experimental technologies that pushed the boundaries of known physics emerged at an unprecedented rate. Adaptive materials that could change their properties in microseconds. Communication systems that could decode and learn from multiple technological languages. Commander Sarah Reyes oversaw the development of a new generation of spacecraft that could adapt to any environmental condition. Where traditional ship designs were static, these new vessels were living systems that could transform themselves based on mission requirements. The spirit of human innovation knew no boundaries. Every challenge became a chance to demonstrate potential. Every restriction was an invitation to think differently. As the galactic isolation continued, humanity's technological development accelerated. Research facilities worked around the clock. Every human colony became a center of innovation, each settlement contributing to a larger, more complex technological network. Dr. Rodriguez watched the progress with a sense of quiet satisfaction. The Galactic Council believed they were constraining humanity. In reality, they were providing the perfect conditions for a technological revolution. The turning point had arrived. Humanity was no longer just preparing to join the interstellar community. They were preparing to transform it completely. The galaxy had underestimated them, and now they would learn the true meaning of human potential. The combined fleet of the Galactic Council approached the human territories with an arrogance born of centuries of unchallenged military supremacy. Thousands of ships formed a massive geometric formation, their weapon systems charged and ready for what they believed would be a swift, decisive victory. Commander Sarah Rice watched the approaching armada from the Central Command of New Providence, her fingers hovering above a series of holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with living intelligence. Around her, the colony's defense systems hummed with a quiet, anticipatory energy. "Incoming fleet," announced Lieutenant David Kumar. Multiple species configurations. Krellnax battle cruisers leading the primary assault vector. The holographic displays around the command center transformed, showing multiple layers of tactical information. Each incoming ship was not just tracked. It was analyzed, its potential movements predicted with a precision that bordered on prescience. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood beside the tactical team, her presence a quiet source of confidence. She had designed the strategic framework that was about to be tested. Where traditional military thinking saw battles as linear conflicts, humans had developed a truly adaptive approach to strategic engagement. The first wave of alien weapons discharge, massive energy bursts that should have vaporized entire sections of the human colony. Instead, something extraordinary happened. The colony's defensive systems moved like a living organism, shield frequencies shifting in microseconds, creating interference patterns that rendered the attacks almost comically ineffective. "They're using the same tactical approach they've used for centuries," Dr. Marcus Chen observed, analyzing the incoming data streams. Completely predictable. Each alien attack was more than just defended against. The human systems were learning, integrating the attack signatures into their defensive matrix. Weapon frequencies were decoded, tactical approaches analyzed and neutralized before they could fully materialize. The Krellnax fleet found itself in an impossible situation. Their most advanced weapon systems were being systematically dismantled by a defensive network that seemed to think and adapt faster than their own computational matrices could process. Lieutenant Kumar watched in awe as the colony's systems transformed the incoming assault into a comprehensive data-gathering exercise. "We're not just defending," he muttered. "We're learning." Massive battleships that should have obliterated human defenses found their weapon systems becoming increasingly ineffective. Communication networks collapsed. Tactical formations dissolved into chaos. The once perfect geometric attack patterns of the Galactic Council fleet began to break down. Commander Reyes moved with a calm that belied the magnitude of the moment. "Activate adaptive counteroffensive," she commanded. The human response was nothing short of revolutionary. Instead of traditional counterattacks, the colony's systems began to interface with the alien communication networks. Quantum entanglement communication systems developed during years of secret research now demonstrated their true potential. Alien ship systems began to receive conflicting command signals. Navigation matrices became corrupted. Weapon targeting systems started to malfunction in ways that defied conventional understanding. "They're fighting themselves," Dr. Chen observed, watching the holographic displays. "We're not even firing a single shot." The Galactic Council fleet found itself in complete disarray. Ships that moments ago seemed invincible now drifted helplessly. Communication channels became a cacophony of confusion and panic. Dr. Rodriguez understood the deeper strategy. This was more than a defensive victory. It was a comprehensive demonstration of human potential, a clear message that humanity viewed technological conflict as a multidimensional problem to be solved, not a simple linear engagement. As the battle progressed, human research teams were already analyzing every fragment of data. Each alien weapon signature, each tactical approach was carefully recorded, studied, and integrated into their growing understanding of interstellar conflict. The entire engagement lasted less than 23 minutes. When it concluded, not a single human life had been lost. The Galactic Council's most formidable fleet had been completely neutralized without a traditional shot being fired. Commander Reyes allowed herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. "Send a message to Earth Central," she instructed. "Tactical engagement complete. All systems functioning at optimal levels." The New Providence colony stood as it had before the attack, serene, seemingly vulnerable. But now, it carried a reputation that would send tremors through the entire galactic community. The message was clear. Humanity was not to be underestimated. The Galactic Council chamber had never known such profound silence. Where once it rang with confident declarations and dismissive laughter, now only a heavy tension remained. Ambassador Zornak's luminescent form flickered uncertainly, the once proud representative of the Luminarian Confederation, now reduced to a dim, wavering presence. Dr. Elena Rodriguez entered the chamber, her diplomatic uniform crisp and immaculate. Behind her, a small delegation of human representatives carried themselves with a quiet confidence that spoke volumes. They were not conquerors. They were problem solvers. "The Krelnak's military infrastructure has been completely neutralized," she began, her voice calm and precise. Holographic displays materialized around her, showing comprehensive analyses of the technological dismantling that had occurred. The Lithosian representative, a massive crystalline entity that had once seemed impenetrable, now appeared fragile. Its computational matrices had been thoroughly analyzed, its strategic algorithms rendered obsolete by human innovation. Each council member received a detailed report, not a declaration of war, but a comprehensive breakdown of the technological vulnerabilities that humanity had discovered. It was a surgical demonstration of capabilities, showing not just military might, but an unprecedented ability to understand and transform technological systems. Dr. Marcus Chen had prepared the reports personally. They were more than simple military assessments. Each page revealed layers of technological potential that challenged everything the Galactic Council believed about innovation and strategic thinking. "We do not seek territorial conquest," Elena continued. "We seek recognition, understanding, and the opportunity to contribute to galactic development." The surrender was not a moment of defeat, but of profound realization. The Krelnak's delegation, once the most powerful military force in the galaxy, found their entire military-industrial complex systematically dismantled, not through destruction, but through comprehensive technological understanding. Human cyber warfare specialists had infiltrated their most secure systems with an ease that bordered on the miraculous. Communication networks were not destroyed. They were transformed. Weapon systems were not obliterated. They were fundamentally reimagined. Ambassador Zornak finally spoke, his once melodic voice now uncertain harmonic. "How is this possible?" Dr. Rodriguez allowed herself a subtle smile. "We see potential where others see barriers. We understand that technology is not about having the most advanced system, but about the ability to adapt, to learn, to transform." The holographic displays continued to rotate, showing layer after layer of technological analysis. Each slide was a masterclass in innovation, revealing how human researchers had not just understood alien technologies, but had developed entirely new approaches to problem-solving. Commander Sarah Reyes stood at the edge of the delegation, her military background a counterpoint to the scientific approach. She represented the practical application of the theoretical breakthroughs, the human ability to turn innovation into tangible capability. The surrender negotiations were unlike any in galactic history. Humanity did not demand territories or resources. Instead, they requested access to scientific exchanges, collaborative research opportunities, and a comprehensive review of existing galactic technological paradigms. "We are offering a partnership," Elena explained, "not a conquest." The Lithosian representatives' computational matrices began to understand. Humanity was not seeking to replace existing galactic systems. They were offering to transform them entirely. Hours of discussion followed. Each council member received comprehensive reports that demonstrated not just human capabilities, but the fundamental philosophy of human innovation. Where other civilizations saw fixed systems, humans saw opportunities for reimagination. As the negotiations concluded, something fundamental had changed. The Galactic Council was no longer a hierarchical system of established powers. It was becoming a collaborative platform of potential. Dr. Rodriguez's final statement captured the essence of the moment. "We do not wish to lead. We wish to contribute. We do not seek to replace your systems. We seek to expand what is possible." The chamber, once a place of dismissal and condescension, now buzzed with a new energy of potential. The human delegation had not conquered through force. They had transformed through understanding. The Galactic Council had underestimated humanity. Now they would learn the true meaning of collaborative innovation. The galaxy would never be the same. 10 years after the historic surrender, the Galactic Council chamber had transformed beyond recognition. Where once rigid protocols and hierarchical structures dominated, now a dynamic collaborative space emerged. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood at the center, no longer just a human ambassador, but a key architect of a new interstellar paradigm. The redesigned chamber reflected a fundamental shift in galactic understanding. Holographic displays showed real-time collaborative research projects spanning multiple species and star systems. Adaptive communication systems allowed instant translation and cultural exchange, breaking down barriers that had existed for millennia. "We are not here to lead," Elena reminded the assembled representatives during the annual Innovation Summit. "We are here to learn, to collaborate, and to expand what is possible." Nearby, Dr. Marcus Chen presented a breakthrough in quantum communication technology. What had once been a human-developed system was now a collaborative effort involving researchers from 12 different species. The Lithosian computational experts worked alongside Aryan energy specialists, with human researchers serving as bridge builders and innovative catalysts. Commander Sarah Reyes oversaw the first truly collaborative defense initiative. Instead of competitive military strategies, the new galactic approach focused on mutual protection and technological development. Early warning systems developed from human adaptive technologies now protected settlements across multiple star systems. The transformation was most visible in the research facilities. What were once isolated scientific outposts had become interconnected hubs of innovation. The Mars Research Center now hosted scientists from across the galaxy, each bringing unique perspectives that challenged and expanded existing technological understanding. Dr. Aisha Nomani led a project that epitomized the new approach. Her team had developed adaptive terraforming technologies that could help struggling colonies across multiple star systems. Where previous galactic approaches saw resource management as a competitive endeavor, humans introduced a collaborative model of shared innovation. The Krelnax, once the most militaristic species in the galaxy, had undergone the most dramatic transformation. Their former weapon research facilities now developed technologies for planetary restoration and sustainable energy production. Their crystalline cities became centers of collaborative research, their previous military hierarchy replaced by open innovation networks. Ambassador Zornak of the Luminarian Confederation, once a dismissive critic, now served as a primary advocate for the new galactic approach. His species had learned to see beyond their traditional energy-based existence, embracing the human concept of adaptive potential. Educational systems across the galaxy underwent a complete redesign. Institutions now taught not just established knowledge, but the principles of adaptive thinking. Students learned to see challenges as opportunities, to approach problems with creativity and collaborative spirit. The economic models transformed as well. Resource sharing replaced competitive acquisition. Trade became about knowledge exchange rather than mere material transactions. Technologies developed in one system could be rapidly adapted and implemented across multiple civilizations. During a commemorative ceremony, Alina reflected on the journey. The human approach had never been about conquest or superiority. It was about potential, the fundamental belief that every challenge was an opportunity to learn and grow. Scientific breakthroughs emerged at an unprecedented rate, faster than light communication systems, adaptive medical technologies that could heal planetary ecosystems, energy collection methods that transformed entire economic models. Each innovation was a collaborative effort that transcended individual species' limitations. The human colonies, once seen as isolated and vulnerable, now stood as vibrant centers of innovation. Each settlement was a node in a larger, more intelligent network. Information, resources, and technological innovations flowed with a speed and efficiency that would have been unimaginable decades earlier. Younger generations across multiple species grew up with a fundamentally different understanding of interstellar relations. Competition gave way to collaboration. Differences became sources of strength rather than division. As the annual Innovation Summit concluded, Dr. Rodriguez looked out over the assembled representatives. Species that once would have been mortal enemies now worked together on projects that would have seemed impossible a decade earlier. The galaxy had changed. Not through conquest, but through understanding. Not through force, but through collaboration. Humanity had not conquered the stars. They had invited the stars to dance. The true potential of collective innovation had only just begun to unfold.